Welcome back, everybody. How you doing tonight? So, I've been talking about the other deck that I kept. I did do a video on my main deck that I kept when I sold my collection. This one here that I've got to rebuild because obviously these haven't been updated in a long time. But you see this one on my homepage, you know, these unlimited tutors and vampiric tutors and consultations and original mana crypts and stuff like that. This was my expensive deck back then that was my vintage kind of what we called type 1 back then. Deck that was basically an infinite combo with Enduring Renewal from Ice Age, which is one of my favorite meme cards of all time. So yeah, just some fun stuff in there. So I've gone through this dual land. That's where all the dual lands, all the fetch lands I show in the other videos came from. And Caracas and Glimmer Voids and original Godless Shrines. That's where that one's on my homepage. But I figured I'd go through my other deck. It's not as flashy and cool as this one. There's not as much good stuff in it, not as much value. But I figured I'd show you guys this one. I can't show you the other side. Let me see here. There's the deck box was really, really nice. Yeah, Medusa's kind of wearing a see-through shirt on that, so we're not going to show that side of the deck box. We're just going to pull out the deck and show you that. And then this is everything I kept aside from my, some dice and stuff like that, and some other random stuff that you've seen in my other videos. But this is my other deck that I kept. Now, this was just a budget deck back then. Not so budget anymore, but it's kind of funny because this deck is based around Sarah Angel and Singer Vampire, which back then were just super powerful cards, two of the most powerful cards in the game. But nowadays, they're in welcome packs because the power levels have gone up so much, they're kind of useless now. So, but back then, they were really powerful. So this deck I built just around them. Originally, back when I built it, I started building this deck back when Revised was still out, and I called it Death from Above. And I just modified it over the years. The last time I modified it was right after Lorwyn came out. I added some Lorwyn cards in here. So, I think there maybe an Eventide or Shadowmoor, but I think just Lorwyn cards was all I was able to get before I kind of sold my collection off. And this is the other deck that I kept just because it really wasn't, at the time, much value in here to be worth anything to the guy that I sold the collection to. I wish I had kept some of my other decks and wish I kept my dual lands, but hey, live and learn. Yeah. Anyway, so we got a Foil Invasion Plains here. We got a Damnation from Planar Chaos. Great little board wipe there. Got a Condemn from Dissension. Got a Mutavault from Lorwyn, original one. Cloak and Dagger from Lorwyn. I believe this is Revised Wrath of God. Looks like a Ravnica Swamp foil. Old original Mindstone from Weatherlight. Mirrodin Terror. Basil Sliver from Time Spiral. This was basically just a chump blocker and to get some mana to ramp up to get... The whole point of this deck was to get Sarah Angels and Singer Vampires out really, really fast. Here's a Time Spiral Foil Plains. Flagstones of Trocare from Time Spiral. Great card. Let's put it in the graveyard from play. You may search your library for a Plains card and put it into the play. If you do, shuffle your library. So, back then, people attacked your lands a lot. There was a lot of land destruction stuff. So, this came in handy because if they destroyed it, you could go get a Plains. So, aside from that, it was kind of pointless. But it was legendary. So, if you ended up with two of them in your hand, you could pop them both down. One of them would die, and you go get a Plains for it. Cave of Koilos. We called those ping lands back in the day. I don't know what they call them now, but one colorless, or you could add white or black and it'd do a damage to you. Pretty cool, just to help prevent color lock, dual land, because we didn't have a lot of dual land options back then. And I don't think I had any fetch lands on this one. I don't even remember. Kamigawa Foil Plains, original Dash Hopes from Planar Chaos. Onslaught Foil Plains. The foiling was so much better back then than it is now. These are all the shooting stars, obviously. Odyssey foil swamp, another Mind Stone, Time Spiral foil swamp, another Damnation, another Cave of Koilos, another Flagstones. These were pretty cool sleeves. I like these. And these actually held up really well. The sleeves on my other deck are just destroyed. They fell apart. But these held up pretty good. Dash Hopes. I don't know what kind of sleeves they are. They're Brahm Art sleeves, whatever that means. Here's a Unlimited Terror. This one's seen a lot of play. This one was in many decks before this one. And then we get into the Singer Vampire. There's one of the revised Singers. There's the Apocalypse Cave of Koilos. That was the first, I believe that was the first printing of this one. And then they put it in 10th edition right after that. Mirage Disenchant, another 10th edition Cave. There's a revised Singer, or Sarah, and another revised Singer. Another Condemn. And then I had a Chroma, Angel of Wrath. I believe that was Legions. She's just, she was a beast. I mean, flying, first strike, trample, haste, protection from black, protection from red, and vigilance. Before they even had a name for vigilance. So, pretty awesome. Yeah, they didn't have a name for vigilance in the early days. It just said attacking does not cause Sarah Angel to tap. Or a Chroma Angel for that. Angel of Death, or Angel of Wrath, sorry. I got Slayer stuck in my head now. Another Cloak and Dagger, just to protect the angels and vampires when they got out there. Another Time Spiral foil, Invasion foil. Another revised Sarah, Time Spiral foil. Good old original Time Spiral. This is actually a pre-release Lotus Bloom. The pre-releases were not very common back then. They didn't really do the pre-release kits and the pre-release events at your local game store, I don't think, at this time. I think they did pre-releases, but they didn't have the pre-release kits. You actually had to compete in the tournament to get these. So, and I think you had to place to get them. I don't remember. That was a long time ago, but I love the Lotus Bloom. I think the Lotus Bloom was such a genius idea, you know? I mean, if Black Lotus was too powerful, this was an amazing idea to reprint it and suck down the power level a little bit, but not destroy the integrity of the actual original card. Because it's still a Black Lotus. You still sacrifice it, get 3 mana of any color to your mana pool. You just got to wait 3 turns to do it. You still cast it for free. You just can't pop it for 3 turns. So, amazing. I really think they did such a great job with Time Spiral with doing that, you know. They did this with a lot of the original Power 9 cards and Time Spiral. I love these. I think, like I said, if you can't afford Power 9, this is a really good option. Although these are getting kind of pricey now too, I think. But this guy, you know, is nowhere near the price of a Black Lotus, but it does the exact same effect. It's 3 turns slower, which, you know, is a huge deal in the game, especially when you're playing in Vintage with Power 9. But, you know, for this type of deck, I usually wasn't getting the Angels and Vampires out until turn 2 or 3 anyway. So one of these in my opening hand, pretty much guaranteed I was getting one out on turn 3. So that was awesome to me. So I like the card. I think it was really helpful. Planar Chaos, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Each land is a swamp in addition to its other types. Why I never put anything Swamp Walk in here, I'll never know. That was kind of stupid. Probably should have done that. Mirrodin Foil Swamp. Another Lotus Bloom. The pre-release one. And then the Platinum Angel. You can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. So, a little bit more expensive than the other vampires for the same power and flying, but yeah, it was, yeah, if you were in trouble, throw out the Platy and then throw a Cloak and Dagger on the Platy, and guess what? Shroud. Yep, Shroud. So, that was pretty awesome. You get a Cloak and Dagger on a Platinum Angel, and pretty much you couldn't lose at that point. Just had to try and find a way to kill the opponent. Singer Vampire again from Revised. Another Basil Sliver. Or, oh, look, a Lorwyn Basic Swamp, but non-foil. I didn't know there was any non-foil ones in here. Oh, well. Another Mind Stone. Another Wrath of God from Revised. Another Mutavault. Another Condemn. Another pre-release Lotus Bloom. I think there's 4 in here. Another Basil Sliver. Revised Terror. There's a foil Lorwyn land. Okay. Another Cloak and Dagger. Another Time Spiral Swamp foil, another Sarah Angel, two more Sarah Angels, another Urborg, and a foil Cloak and Dagger, and then another Platy. And then our sideboard was foil Sunlance, good old white direct damage. Well, I thought that was so cool with Planar Chaos, how they took cards that should have not been in that color from other colors, like Lightning Bolt, and modified them to make them fit in a different color. So it only does non-white creature, but still, that's a very small limitation for one white mana to do 3 damage to a creature. That's awesome. And then I got a True Believer. You have Shroud, in case anybody was doing direct damage against me. A couple of those in there. The good old Pithing Needle, which I used to put at least one of these in every single sideboard of every deck I had. Just because it shuts down a lot of shenanigans for 1 mana. Such awesome card. And then a Magus of the Mirror. So that's from a foil from Time Spiral. If I was getting in trouble, I could exchange life totals with somebody, or if somebody else was running massive life gain, pop him out, sack him, and swap life. Revised Disenchant, and then a 7th edition Disenchant. Imp's Mischief. So if I was having trouble with again with direct damage or like reverse damages back then were a big deal, then I could change the target. I just lost life equal to the spell's casting cost. Dash Hopes, just for black counter spells. Again, Planar Chaos took stuff like Counterspell and put them into black, which is amazing. And then a Purity, which is a flying 6/6 from Lorwyn. If a spell or ability would deal damage to you, prevent that damage, you gain life equal to the damage prevented this way. So basically a built-in reverse damage at any time. When Purity is put into graveyard from anywhere, shovel it into its owner's library. So a couple of those, and then a Necrotic Sliver. In case I was needing to destroy any kind of problems, I could throw him in there, and then him and the Basil Slivers would be able to, for 3, destroy any permanent. So there was my sideboard for it. So that was the deck. Let me know what you think of that. I imagine if I tried to play this against somebody today, it'd probably get beat down pretty bad, because it's a little slower and a little underpowered by today's standards, but really cool deck sleeves. And there's some cool old cards in there. So, and then this is the only other thing that I haven't shown you guys yet that I kept that actually has cards in it. It's just basic lands. That's it. But they are kind of old basic lands. Back then when I sold my collection, black border lands were really the big deal. There's some Mirage and a Portal, and then some snow covered. Oh, yeah, snow covered from Ice Age, mountains, and Ice Age Plains. But then the rest of this box is all revised because oh, and there's a 4th edition there apparently. I stand corrected. Most of the rest of the box is revised. There's 4th edition in there. A couple 4th editions. Hey, look at that. Because whiteboard lands were completely worthless at the time. The guy I sold my collection to is like, oh, I don't want the whiteboard lands. You can keep those. So I just kept these just in case I got back in the game and wanted to build some decks. So, or wanted to play with some friends or something. I had extra lands in case we want to do a draft or something. So I kept this box of lands. It's literally the whole thing is revised. And they're all played because, you know, revised, there wasn't sleeves yet when revised was around. So we never used sleeves. This swamp is kind of interesting. It looks like an unlimited swamp, but it's not. Revised, for some reason, just one swamp was darker than the rest. Let me see if I can find some more swamps here to show you. Give you an example. Jeez. I don't have many swamps in this collection. You know, they're all jumbled up at the very bottom. Maybe I used too many of them to build decks. I did like building black decks back then. I built a lot of black decks. Black was one of my favorite colors. There we go. There's some swamps. Okay. So yeah, when you look at the other revised swamps, there's a huge drastic color difference, but there's another one. Drastic color difference. Just on the one, it was just the one artwork for some reason was way darker than the usual washed out revised colors. And it was just that one artwork. All the other artworks are very light in color, except that one. See? So for whatever reason, they printed that one basically with the almost the unlimited kind of color scheme on the border. But it's revised. You can tell from the tap symbol. The unlimited ones just say tap to add. And I don't even know if they had the mana symbols like that on the unlimited ones. I don't remember, but I know they didn't have the tap symbol yet. They just had the word tap on the unlimited ones. So if you're ever unsure whether it's unlimited or revised, that's the big giveaway, is the tap symbol. But I don't remember if they might have even just said black mana to your mana pool, or one black to your mana pool or something like that. They might not have the mana symbol on them yet either. I don't recall. It's been a while since I saw revised lands, or unlimited lands. But I'm pretty positive they didn't have the tap symbol yet. So, there you have it. That's everything that I kept, aside from the stuff I've already shown, the infinite combo deck, and then some of some of the empty boxes and stuff, the empty starter and tournament deck boxes that I went over in the one video there, to show you the differences with those. But that's it. So I got a bunch of revised lands. All played, but not heavily played. I usually take pretty good care of my stuff, but you can definitely tell they're played. So, there you have it. Let me know what you think. I know it's not as exciting of a video as opening a box of cards, but some cool old relics from the past there. Some cool stuff that's probably gone up in value a lot. This was probably like a $50 deck when I sold my collection. And I have a feeling, I think, aren't the Mutavaults, just the 2 Mutavaults are probably worth that now. Or the Damnations, a couple of Damnations might be worth that now. I don't know. I'll have to look at the prices on the stuff. But that's, yeah, let me know what you think. If you, back then it was pretty effective. This deck was usually pretty strong, pretty powerful, as long as I wasn't playing against Power 9. It was pretty powerful back then. And I think this was standard legal at the time. All the Time Spiral and Lorwyn stuff was all standard legal, and because they were still printing Sarah Angel, Platinum Angel, and Singer, I think this was actually a standard legal deck, if I recall. I think I kept it because this was my favorite standard legal deck that wasn't expensive. The Dragonstorm deck was too expensive. He wanted that one when I sold him my collection. So I think this was my only standard legal deck that I could get away with keeping, because it didn't have a lot of value at the time in it. And this one I wasn't selling regardless, because this was my favorite deck ever. And there was a lot of value in it even back then. But you know, I wasn't selling that one. I wasn't part of the deal originally, so I got to keep this one just because it was pretty inexpensive at the time. So I think it's a little bit more valuable now. Even though the Singer Vampires and Sarah Angels aren't worth anything now, I think the Lotus Blooms and the Mutavaults and stuff like that have gone up a lot. So, all right, there you have it. Let me know what you guys think. Every like and subscription and you know, share is hugely appreciated. So thank you guys so much for your time, for watching my videos. Really appreciate it. I love all the comments, love chatting with you guys, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. There's probably some suggestions in the corner there for you. You guys have a great night. Take care. Bye.